Hi Flosstube friends, my name's Lorraine and you're at my channel ShanebrookCottage. Welcome. Excuse my scruffy appearance, or maybe I look the same as I always do, but I feel scruffy. It is over 100 degrees here with the heat index today. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. And like the outside's trying to kill us here in Pennsylvania. It is so humid. It is so miserable. I apologize now. I got my little fan. So I don't know if it's gonna mess up the audio. My mom Gigi always says I need a microphone, and I had one briefly, but it didn't work very well, so I haven't replaced it. So we'll see when I play this back if it's a go or a no-go. So I have for you guys, I have a lot of whips that I've worked on in the last couple weeks that I want to show you my progress on. I have a quilt finish and 2 quilt whips I'm going to show. I have some patriotic inspiration I want to share with you, and I have some haul. And I think I also have, yes I do have, I have some Save the Stitches from my thrift store shopping. So are you ready? So buckle up, get yourself something to drink, sit back, relax, get out your favorite stitching. Drop me a note. Tell me what you're working on while you watch this. I would love to know. And if you want to, I would greatly appreciate it if you would give me a like and a subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the shenanigans over here at ShanebrookCottage. And I know that you are enjoying the content, my sharing my sewing journey, stitching journey. So thank you so much for joining me in my stitching room. So let's start with my first whip. So I just grabbed the basket that was in the living room, and I was working on this most recently, so it still has a needle stuck in it. This is my Lori Holt stitch card set. Let me tell you what set it is. You guys are probably shouting at the screen. X set X. So it's all prairie themed. So you have the covered wagon, a log cabin, a bonnet, and a flower basket. And mine's on 14 count that I sprayed with some vintage spray to darken it up because I wanted that white to pop, and it sure does. And I had to pick out that border. I think I told you last time when I was camping, I messed the border up on the bonnet. So I picked it out and redid it, and it's perfect now. And then I also watched some Little House on the Prairie while I was stitching the bonnet. So I'm really enjoying this one. So let me tuck that away so it doesn't get lost. Now I'm going to stitch all 4 in a row together. Let's see, whoops, whoopsie. So the next thing I have, let's see what this one is. So like, you know, like I shouldn't even say it. I need bags, right? I've been saying it. I need to make some bags. Well, now I'm to the point where I need to make some floss drops. Because look, I'm not even dropping my floss. It's just like crammed in there. So this is a new start. I started this, oh, I didn't write the date down, but I know I started it on June 19th for Juneteenth. So it's a Silver Creek Samplers Day of Jubilee. This is Harriet Tubman, or a rendition of Harriet Tubman in 1849, the first time that she had made it north to freedom. So I started that. This is on a piece of 14 count Artiste Ada. Does it tell me what it was called? Oh, it's called Vintage Oak. Vintage Oat. can't talk tonight. The heat's like melting my brain. And then I also used some vintage spray. And this time when I used the vintage spray, it has a lot of wrinkles because I crumpled it to see if I like that. And you can tell definitely there is more of the vintage spray over here because the church is white and I wanted that to show well, versus down here where her colorful dress is. You know, I didn't need all that darkness because the colors are going to show up. So that's a nice stitch. The next one I worked on, not a lot, but I'd like to put some stitches in it this week. Our wedding anniversary is this week, and this is makes me think of our honeymoon because we went to Alaska. So here's the pattern. The Bear and the Moose by Jean Farish. Beautiful. Not much progress since I last showed it. I did start over here filling this in. And I think I did more of the border. Yes, I did. I did this whole second border going all the way across since we last met. So it doesn't look like a lot of progress, but I really want to work on this. I think it's slow because it's white fabric and like I just want to like not get it dirty. And then it has some specialty stitches in there that kind of slow me down. Like this one's like a fishbone stitch. So I really have to pay attention to what I'm doing. And this one is like a herringbone stitch. So, but like the letters went super fast. And I think the rest of it will go fast. It's just the specialty stitches. I'm overthinking it. And that's in my little cowboy bag when I did make a bag. Very pretty pattern. Really pretty colors. I need to get cracking on that one. That one I'm definitely going to put some time in this week. Let's see what I have in this bag. Oh, this one I worked on the other night. I made some good progress for working on it only one night. It's this one here. So All the Things by Flamingo Toes. And this was kind of a choose your own adventure as far as the colors. I just kind of picked from my stash what I liked. I did do down here. So up here on these red flowers, they really blend in with that hot pink I chose for the sewing machine. So down here, I did the outside of the flowers white and the inside red. And hopefully, if it looks good when I fill in the pink, I'm going to go and pick the red ones out and do that up here so they show. But if there's not much difference or whatever, then I won't worry about it. But yeah, I did all of these flowers since we last met and started filling in some more. I kind of just boxed it out, so now this is just all fill in until I move on to the other part of the sewing machine. So that'll be just a little something to decorate this room with. What do we have in this bag? This is a nice Lori Holt bag that I used her little panels to make. Oh, this one is a Lori Holt pattern. You Are the Boss. So here's just a photocopy of it because the hard pattern is a nice booklet, so I don't want to put it in my bag and mess it up. And I made some progress. I started doing the dashed lines, so I did that around here. I finished this one, and I started another one. So I probably worked on that one 2 evenings of television time. And I really like the dashed lines going around the motifs. I think it really sets it off. It's going to look really nice. I feel like I'm talking 100 miles an hour, and I know that I'm a fast talker anyway. But Murphy's Law today at work. So I had a meeting, I had an appointment that I wasn't hosting. I was a guest on the meeting. but it ran long because the person I had the meeting with, anyway, it ran long. And I had another one right after that with a customer that I was hosting. So I was running behind. And I hate that, but I couldn't leave, like, anyway, and they're on, they're on Teams, they're not in person or whatever. Well, then, I swear to you, I kid you not, I get off that other meeting, I go to jump on the other meeting, and like the power flickered or something. Like, we are so lucky we have not lost power. The next town over, Littlestown, I have a Gettysburg address, and the next town over is Littlestown. They lost power for more than 24 hours, those poor souls. And I thought for sure that we were losing it, but it just flickered. But what it did is it restarted the computer. So then I had to wait for it to like do its whole thing and then log back in and then log into Teams. And by then it's like 17 minutes late. Like, who's waiting 17 minutes? I don't wait 17 minutes. I wait 10 minutes. I give you the good college try. Like, I wait 10 minutes before I like get off, and then I get off, and then I send you an email saying, hey, I'm so sorry, understand things happen, do you want us to reschedule, blah blah blah. So I get logged back in, and I email the lady in a panic, like, I am so sorry, this is what happened. And she was so nice, she's like, can we meet now? I'll call my team in. And I'm like, yeah, call your team in, we'll meet now. So we get on the computer and we meet now. Well, I know that she has a meeting in 15 minutes. 16 minutes, basically 16 minutes we had. My presentation's usually 30 minutes. Like, by the time like I do it start to finish, answer questions. So I was like in full like, got through it. I was like, I just want to be respectful of your time. I know that you have another meeting to attend. Anyway, long story short, it was a successful meeting. I think I'm still talking really fast, so I'm sorry. And then I just want to share something that is super nice. So speaking of losing power, all those poor folks, of course, lost their groceries. You can't, unless you have a generator in this heat, even if you keep everything closed, it's just too many hours. So my husband's sister family, so his brother-in-law's family, they own a sanitation company, and they put on social media that they're setting up a dump site. And it's not even just for their customers, it's just anyone in the area who needs to dispose of food can come do that at no charge. And I thought, that is super kind, super kind, because people are going to be struggling. I mean, you haven't had any heat, or not any heat, you've had heat, no air, no water if you were on a water pump, and then you lose all your groceries. It's just, knock on wood, praise God, we've been okay so far. Anyway, I'll slow down. So the next one, the next whip, and thank you guys for the comments on my last video. You guys are so sweet. That's why I just keep coming back. I mean, I enjoy this documentation process and visiting, but it is so cool when you guys comment, and I always get the best comments. So here is June's snapshot. I am loving this so much. Look at those colors. Love that blue. Oh, such a mess. But here is mine. And this definitely got a couple solid nights in it. I had to skip finishing out the tent because I was waiting for a variegated floss, which I know is in my haul, so I'll have that. And then this is kind of hard to see on camera. This is the pocket knife top, and then the pocket knife will go in here, and it says June in white. Love it so much. Okay, I will edit out that coughing fit. And I did shut the fan off because I think the fan blowing at my face, it's like making me all tickly. So what I was saying is, this June snapshot is on 14 count. You look at my card, I think it's Vintage Country Mocha. It is, on the modeled side. And I got one of these little cute charms from Primrose on here. So pretty. And then I just tied a piece of scrap fabric. piece of woven fabric on my ring. And I don't know, I think some people, when they use their floss drops, like they use them for a specific project and match it all up. I don't. I use a permanent fine point Sharpie and I write on it. So Forever 597 will always be on a mitten, whereas this orange 3853 will always be on a pumpkin floss drop. And this white is on one from Mrs. Claus. So my floss drops won't match the theme of the project, but I sure do love using them. So while I'm thinking of it, I found a new YouTuber. It's called, I'll put it on the bottom of the screen in case I get it wrong. I think it's called Littlefoot Quilt, Foot, F-O-O-T-E. But what the video series that I liked on her playlist, I mean, I liked them all. I ended up watching everything, but my most favorite were the ones that were off grid. So she has a cabin in New York. I don't know what part of New York. I want to say upper, but that's might be wrong. Anyway, and then she uses this old Singer machine that's hand cranked. It is so cool. And she does some of the coolest things, like from crazy patchwork to, I don't even know. I don't even know off the top of my head. I'm at a loss for words this afternoon. Even though I am staying inside, like the heat, like last night was supposed to be the Flosstube night. Yesterday was the day where my hair was done. I had makeup on. I had a nice blouse. I was like all ready. And then like at the end of the day when work was over, I just told Steve, I'm like, I don't even know. Like I did not go outside, but like I am beat down because we're keeping the AC set really high, so it's not running all the time, but it's like on 79 and it's just running and running. And we have a new system that's really energy efficient, but geez, I mean, anyway, so you get this today. But the off-grid quilting, I loved it so much, so I really recommend that one as well. So I'll look that up and put it in the bottom of the screen. So onward to more whips. So this is the Flea Market Flowers. Flea Market Flowers, yes, by Lori Holt. But I am doing the, this one, the Patriotic coloring, that you can only get the sheet if you bought the floss pack. Again, no floss drops. And this one had a bit of frogging going on as well one night. So I think I got a couple nights in on this one. I think everything almost got two evenings of TV watching. So maybe like 1 or 2 hours. So maybe 3 hours each. And I'm a slow stitcher. I'm no Kimberly Jolly, not whipping through stuff. But when I was coming around my sunflower and it didn't meet, and I was like, so I had to pick it back until I found the mistake. And then I fixed it and it's all good. And then I started filling in some of the border. I'm really excited to start one of the blue flowers, which is going to be, well, the sunflower box, it'll have a blue flower in it going the other way. And then this box over here will have a blue flower. So I'm anxious to start those to see how those colors look. I am using the Called For DMC, and it is 14 count Vintage Country Mocha. I am such a beige girl right now. I'm in my beige phase. Really pretty though, but see, look at these blues in here. They're so pretty. It's so fun for me to do these bi-weekly or so mini, let me show you my whip parades, because then I'm like, oh, it's been a few days since I've touched that project. I want to work on it. Oh, and this one is in a Stitching with the Housewives little canvas bag. Oops, I got a thread. And it has like their little summer charm. And I literally bought this, I think this was like a quarterly kit, and I bought it a la carte way after the fact when it was on sale, just so I could have the bag and the charm. I'm not gonna stitch the pattern, but I just wanted this. This is so pretty, this blue and the white. Oh, love it. Now this one here is so lovely. I don't think it's gonna do it justice right now where I'm at. So this was a free pattern. So there's no cover art or anything. This is a Joyful World June by the Snowflower Diaries. And I got it off her blog spot. And literally this is my pattern. Like I've have it in GoodNotes and I just zoom in on it. Oh, this, I know why this one is, let me show you where I'm at, and then I'll show you why I don't have much progress, because I did a lot of frogging. So this is the apricot tree right here that the bear is going to be sitting under. And but I had most, if not all, of this border done. And then I had the colors filled in these little cornerstones. And when I had it done, I didn't care for it for this pattern. I felt like the motifs are very Art Deco is what came to mind. That's what I was thinking of, which is a pretty art and pretty time. And maybe you don't see that, but that's what I saw. And I just wasn't loving it, so I pulled it all out. So I didn't get much stitching done because I was really just pulling out all of that. And this is a piece of 14 count Aida that I sprayed with the vintage spray. So I am eager to get back to this. Right now I'm not very excited about stitching a little apricot tree. But I think it's going to be really beautiful. With that bear, and then the bee scup, and the bees, and a little bit of flowers. And I may leave the word June off, because right now I don't really have anything that I switch out every month. So that's an argument to go both ways. We'll do the June, because I do have an August one. You know, I do have a couple things, and so maybe I could switch them out, but then there's like that, well, if I don't put June on there, I can just leave it out all the time, or at least in the summer and spring, if I want to switch things around. So what do you think? Would you put June on there, or would you leave it off and maybe just put some more bumblebees in there? Seriously, I want to know. What do you think? So there's that one. And that one I did start. This is an old one. I started it last July. And I'm using DMC. And yeah, so not much progress because I had to go back a lot. And this is on a little bee bag that I made last year. And I put a little thing on there. That turned out pretty nice. I like that. Okay, so these are whips that I haven't worked on, and I think I'm going to save those to show you, because I want to group together like patriotic inspiration, because I have a couple patterns that I pulled that I'm not going to start, but I want to give you guys, if you haven't already, some inspiration for some extra patriotic patterns that maybe you want to add to your collection or start, or maybe prepare for next year, since it's going to be the 250th anniversary, that kind of thing. So I'm going to set these two aside, and I think I'm going to switch and show you my quilting, and then after quilting I will come back and show you my haul and my patriotic inspiration pieces and save the stitches I wanted to share with you guys. So does that sound like a good plan? The big woo is I finally bound and put the label on Smokey the Bear. I wish I don't think it'll happen before I post this video. Go take the quilt outside. We were talking about taking it over to the battlefield, which is like we can walk to the one of the battlefields from our house, like it's right there. and you know, get a really nice outdoorsy picture of the quilt, either with like one of the monuments, one of the cannons, or even like with a farmhouse in the background or something. But barring that, let me get up, go grab the quilt, and show you what it looks like from the comfort of my slightly cool central aired house. Be right back. So here it is in all its glory. But you're just not going to be able to see it. Here it is. And I did this for the binding. I put the binding on with my machine and it turned out super nice. I got some really great mitered corners. And the label is, where is the label? The label is super simple. Just an ironed on label. I was gonna do a fancy label with like all this writing and stuff since it's a gift, but I didn't. So this is going to the county fair, and then after that it will be gifted to our friends that have a cabin. Is all quilted finally. I see some water ink that I need to spray with the water bottle to get out. But the quilting turned out beautiful. It was worth the time it took. This is the first time I've done a 1-inch cross hatch. I usually do a 2-inch because I'm lazy, but that quilting is, what would Abby say? Chef's kiss. And then I still have to bind it and do my label. And then I use one of those little quilt panels in the middle. And look how well that just blended right in with that background fabric. So that's just pieced in there. I'm going to have that bound and make sure I have all the markings out of it before I see you next in a couple weeks, and hopefully get some really great, maybe outdoorsy pictures of that one as well. I am just like, it's like so happy. And then speaking of happy, I have this block of the month that I started. And I think I showed you, I had one of the blocks done. I don't know if I showed you all of them, but they're all the same, but here they are. And I did do a short little, I guess it was supposed to be a YouTube short, but I'm really not sure how to do that. So it ended up just being a YouTube video that I posted of like the process of making it with music in the background. And that was well received, so thank you so much. I do have in my haul here block number 2 that I will show you. That came in the mail this week. So that's going to make a really pretty quilt. Hopefully. Because as I mentioned before, my blocks are a little bit smaller than what's called for, so I'm not sure how it's going to throw the process off, or if I'm consistently small the whole way through the block making process, it maybe will be okay. I don't know, fingers crossed. Okay, and then to lead us into the Patriotic, my last quilting whip is this one I started last year. I worked on this a couple of nights this week. This one is out of the Summer Memories book. And it is, I think it's just called Flag Day Quilt. Yes, it is. I don't know what I'm doing. Here, like this. There we go. Flag Day Quilt. Can I blame the heat? Really, I'm not this, I don't know what the word for it is. I don't know. Anyway, so there's this one. I did have, so I think I mentioned that it called for a certain size tumbler, which I have. Long story short, I bought jelly rolls. They're too small for that template, so I had to get a new template. This little mini fat cat, which is perfect for the jelly rolls. I don't know how to show you. So anyway, this is what the pieces look like. And here is my rendition of it. The fabric is Just gorgeous. The main fabric is Sweet Liberty by Brenda Riddle, which is a collection from last year because I started this last June. And then I added in some pieces that I have left over from last year of Berry Basket by April Rosenthal. And then a couple of reds scraps that I had. And then the white is all scrappy stuff and some of the Jelly Roll. So I needed, so what I'm trying to say by using the smaller template, I'm not going to have a full-size quilt. It's actually going to be, well, it's going to be a little bit longer than this. So that's not even a quilt size. So what I'm thinking is, it's going to make like a really nice, large patriotic pillow. And I am so excited about that thought. Only concern is, again, is the math on the blue part of the flag, sizing that down to be appropriate to this tumbler size. So I have 3 rows that are like this. And then I have to make, how many rows do I have to make? Or I have 4 rows like that. And then I have to do 3 more rows of different, a different amount of tumblers. So that's what I'm working on now, the 3 rows with the requested amount of tumblers. And then since I was rocking and rolling, I thought I would just start chain piecing. So I'm doing them the white rows. I got to do white as well. I have to do, how many whites do I have to do? I have to do 3 white rows. Yeah. Well, no, I have to do 6 total. 6 total different pieces. But anyway, get the pattern. It tells you everything you need to know. So I am using the lights that were in the Jelly Roll itself. So it has a lot of red and blue in it. And then I'm interspersing it with scrap whites from my stash, just literally scraps that I can cut down. And I think it's definitely going to read as a white when it's put up against the pink and the reds. So you'll definitely get that red stripe, white stripe vibe going on. And I haven't decided, because I haven't looked at the blue blocks with the white stars. I haven't looked at the fabric requirements and how the math is going to work out since my tumblers are smaller. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use the make it scrappy with the blues, which are really pale and beautiful, or if I should use a darker navy, which I think that's the route I'm leaning towards, all of one color, not scrappy, for the blue background behind the white stars. I think that might be the route I go. And then I'm gonna save, then I think that leaves me all these blues, because I bought 2 Jelly Rolls. So I have all these blues and all these tans, and I was thinking of doing a blue and tan Jelly Roll quilt with the leftovers that I'm not using in this project. So the fabric's certainly not going to go to waste. It's beautiful. And I do have a ton of, I don't have much red left. That's why I had to use some from my scraps. So this is really all I have left of red that I haven't cut. I do have a good bit of pink left. And I have some whites, like this white I didn't use because I didn't think it read white enough with the flower and then the dots. I think it didn't read white enough. So I'm definitely going to have a good bit of fabric. And then I still have this whole charm pack. And I have some yardage because I used this last year for my, when I made placemats and napkins for the fair. This was the fabric line that I used. So I have some pieces there. And they play nice together. So I'm really excited to work on this one. It's really beautiful. And it's just seasonally appropriate right now with it being summer and the 4th right around the corner. So let me put everything back in the tote so I don't lose any of my pieces. And then let me share with you my patriotic inspiration for you. So I'm probably going to wait until July 1st to switch stitching to my patriotic. So here's a couple whips I had left over from last year. But like I said, I just want to share it with you guys in case you want to, if you don't have this pattern, get it. So this is Hands-On Design, Knee High by the 4th of July. A little bit older pattern, maybe been around longer than I thought. 2018 is the copyright on it. And I enjoy working on this so much. I think this might, well, I don't know. There's a lot to go. This might be a finish, probably not. But if I remember, last year was the season of grass. I did all the grass. So now I'm starting on the flag that's going to hang on the fence. Isn't that beautiful? I cannot wait. So I've got the flag, the fence, and that's it. I got everything else done. This one was a slow start because I had started it a couple times, tore it out. I don't remember, was it my color? Oh, I know what it was. It was the colors, because the called for colors have the corn tassels and the sun motif with orange in it, which the sun, that makes sense to me. The corn, it did not make sense. I know Kathy's a Midwest girl, but so am I originally, and I don't recall orange being a color I would associate with corn. So anyway, so I did my own adventure. I switched it out, and not being the great designer with a great eye like the designers have, I had a hard time picking my colors, but I finally settled on this. And I'm not a huge orange person anyway, so I pulled all the orange out, and I really like how that motif turned out. So that took me a while. So so I do believe I am using my own adventure, and I think that's why it was slow going. I just picked my own colors because it calls for gentle arts and weeks, and I just did some DMCs. Some of the DMCs she gives you a conversion for. So yeah, there's some conversion there, and then some I did on my own. Beautiful design, love it so much. Would love to say it's gonna be a finish this year, but probably not. Not with me not sticking with stuff, just doing a couple nights here and there. Let's see what this one is. This is, oh, this one, I remember this one from last year. This is Henpeck. I think this is my first Plum Street. And can you believe I have this whole little card here and I didn't write down my start date. I'm pretty sure I started this last year. And this was a used pattern I bought off of one of Carrie Tiger Lily's destashes. So, and this is where I'm at. I love it so much. So much. That white looks amazing on this fabric. And did I even write down the fabric name? I did. Okay, so the fabric is a Witchel, and it's showing pretty true to color on the camera. Maybe in person, it's maybe just no, it's pretty true. I was gonna say a tinge greener, but it's really true. So it's Prairie Grain by Witchel with some vintage spray on it. I love that vintage spray, because it makes that white just makes it meow, just pop, just adorable. So this one, again, won't be finished this year, but I definitely will make some fantastic progress on it. So I hope this inspires you. My guess is a lot of you probably already are stitching Patriotic. I know I'm always late to the party. This was another vinyl bag I made. Then for inspiration, I pulled a couple things from my stash that I wanted to share with you guys. I think I have more Patriotic patterns, but these were the ones that I pulled to share that I won't start this year. July Typography by Pine Mountain. Just like a nice word play, nice small. This would be very fast. It is a 52 by 50, so on 14 count, it will finish about 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. And I love that finish. I love those bows. And the called for colors are all DMC, and they're calling for 14 count platinum Ada. But of course you could do your own choices. Then this is one I really thought I was going to work on, but I'm not going to do it. I even have some floss pulled. Probably need more floss than this, but this is Primrose, the Patriotic Quaker. I so look forward to doing this sometime, but it's not going to be this year. And it looks like I decided I was going to go with these two DMCs, 930 and 3777. So maybe I just pulled these so I would know what I wanted to stitch, because I bet it takes more than just one skein of each. Because it calls for cherry cobbler, old lace, and stargazing. And does it tell you? It doesn't tell you how many you need. Oh, these are the DMC conversions of the color and cotton that it calls for. So anywho, I don't know. Do what they call for, do your own adventure, pick your favorites. That's a beautiful motif. How many of these primroses have you guys stitched? I have stitched, of the Quakers, I think I only stitched the Valentine's one so far. And I enjoyed it so much. So I'm looking forward to doing another one. I like the one that's featured on the back here too, the winter one. But I love blue. Then this is a little itty bitty freebie from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilter Sheep Trifle. Let me put my glasses on. This print's super small. 19 by 20. I mean, it is teeny tiny, and there it is. So you just go to her just type in Pinker and Pumpkin if you haven't. There it is at the top in your Google search, and all of these things will come up. And she has a million freebies. And this one is copyrighted 2022. She put it out in 2021. So that would be a cute one if you're looking for something to stitch. Just a little something, something. And then this one, I don't know if this was a freebie or not, but here, let me just show you part of it in case it's not. So this was last year, Tiger Lily did just a couple Sunbonnet Sues. And this is her 4th of July one. I did not stitch this. I would say that was free because I'm not part of her Patreon, but I would hate to share the pattern if I wasn't supposed to. So it's 50 by 50. I did her watering can one with my own color choices. I don't think I have that one in here. I think that's put away somewhere. Let me look. I don't see it on my shelves here, but great pattern, easy to stitch, a lot of fun. So this is just a little Sue holding a flag. So that's another one. I would go to Tiger Lily Designs to see if you can find it there or reach out to her directly. Then I have my haul, which I know has some more patriotic inspiration in it. So I'll kind of just mix it in. So here is my Make It Merry month 2. So I will do another 8 blocks. So I'll do 4 of these and 4 of these, and I get all the fabric. And my concern was I had a lot of fabric left over from the first month. Let me show you how much fabric I had left over. So I wasn't sure if I needed to save that for my subsequent months, like if that was the plan. But it doesn't look like it because there's more of that one print there. So it looks like they're very generous with the fabric. So that is something I can work on. This is very pretty. Let me take it out of the package. This was a straight like impulse purchase because if you made any sort of purchase, you would get a free magnet. My husband was like, is that a $12 magnet? And I'm like, be quiet. I just wanted the magnet. So their marketing worked. But I got this great fabric as well. The light's kind of hitting it weird. The sun's setting now. but it's a pink with white snowflakes. It's a new line. I don't know. Sometimes I wish, well, here's the SKU number. I wish I knew what it was called, but there's the SKU. So pretty. So how can you go wrong? So I'm glad I have that to add to my my supplies. And then I have magnet. Oh, it won't stick to that machine. That machine's not metal, it's plastic. So let's open this one from 1, 2, 3, because I know this is the one that has a lot of patriotic goodness in it. So let's see. I got a bunch of smalls that were just calling my name because all I needed was that 1 skein of floss. But be darned, I am not hand shipping for 1 skein of floss. But I'm not rich enough to buy enough to get the free shipping, so we had to compromise. So here is the variegated floss for that June. Interesting. A variegated DMC. So that I will sit there. And then here is some inspiration for you. So these are the ones that I've seen and I couldn't resist. So Heartfelt, Patriotic, my Robin sampler of October House Fiber Arts. The stitch count's 47 by 71. The model was stitched on 32 count parchment linen. And it calls for weeks. So I will do mine whenever I do mine. I will do it on a 14 count, probably DMC or Classic Colorworks. And I'm not sure what called to me most. I don't know if it was just the way the flowers look or the heart or I don't know, just everything about it. I loved it. This one, I know why I got this one. So this is Stars, Stripes, and Bloom. Looks like there's a piece of cardboard in here to help it stay nice, which is lovely. I appreciate that. But I can't tell you anything about it if it's blocked. So let me pull it out so I can give you the details. Oh, it's a paper pattern, not a book. Okay, I don't think I've ever bought from this. So this is Needle Treasures Nook. This is a new designer to me. Let's see. The fabric of the model is a 36 count vintage mocha. It's 72 by 71, and she used DMC. So those are some poppies in there. I recall every year my dad purchasing from the vets poppies, like the little paper poppies that you'd like. He always hooked his to the rear view mirror of his vehicle, and so that made me think of my dad. So I got that. I thought that was really pretty, and I won't put that back in there, so I won't take up your time doing that. This one is also by Needle Treasures Nook. I think my husband will love this one. Steve will love this one. It's a patriotic eagle, but look at the eagle's chest. It's like a heart. So pretty. And then these motifs up here, if you look at them one way, they're flags. If you look at them the other way, they remind me of rockets. So pretty. And this is a also 36 count vintage mocha, 49 by 51, using GA sampler floss. And then the last one, the last patriotic inspiration I have for you. Oh, I love this one too. Let Freedom Ring. And I think the Liberty Bell's getting lost on this pillow. I think I would tighten that up if I make it into a pillow a little bit, so there's not so much fabric around it, so the bell doesn't get lost. But this one was stitched on 32 count vintage mocha. It's 52 by 52 or 51 by 52, and she used DMC on this model. And the patterns they're large, but they're black and white. So for that little pattern, it's this whole sheet of paper. So it's going to be a really great pattern to work with. It'll be a great pattern to scan into GoodNotes, so I don't have to booger up my paper pattern. So I'm very pleased with those. Let me set those there so I can take care of them. Let's see. Oh, there's another one. Let's see what we got from Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, more Patriotic goodness. So do you remember, this is what I'm doing. Oops. Can't let me forget about Save the Stitches too. They're right there. So I was inspired by Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, to do One Nation. And this was my inspiration fabric and my inspiration floss I pulled. Well, I didn't have enough, of course, so I ordered on my DMC, and I ordered my big old piece of Vintage Country Mocha, since it's going to be a small blanket. So this is definitely going to be my 4th of July start for this year. That's why I'm not going to start any of those smalls. I have those 2 other Patriotic smalls. This is going to be my big boy that I'm going to work on. I know it won't get done in time for next year to celebrate the 250th. It may not get done for the 300th. But someday, if I don't finish it, I will bestow it on Abigail, and hopefully she'll finish it, even though she doesn't cross stitch. So anyway, so that's what this is. So I'll put that over here with my Patriotic goodness. And then, so there really was no excuse why the floss could have traveled, you know, but I got some stuff. So this was on sale. Jumpin' Jacks. I'm not sure what tickled my fancy about it. I think it's because our company, we have an office in the UK, and they are super sweet and dear. Everyone there, I was gonna say all the ladies, but even the gentlemen that work there that I've met when they came over. So I was like, oh, I have UK friends now. I'll get a UK pattern. Then All Stars was on a flash sale, so you know I can't resist a mini charm to add to my collection of mini charms by Stacy Istu. I will insert a image of the Fat Quarter bundle so you can kind of see all of it, but it's a sports theme. A lot of blues in it, very pretty. And speaking of blues, this was Serendipity. So I already have one layer cake of this fabric that I got a while back. And my goal was to make a layer cake quilt, like a really simple one that could get abused and loved and go in our bedroom, like get used. Well then, and here's, well, I can insert a picture, but here's the open one I have. So I've had it a while, so I won't insert a picture. We've got it here. We've got all shades of blue. It's called Sail Away. It's by 10 Carat Wilmington Prints. And I say it was serendipity because these were they weren't flash sale, but they were like the sale they just did at the Fat Quarter Shop where they put a bunch of layer cakes on sale. This was one of them that was on sale. So I got them like, they were like almost, I think they were half price or very close. And it does have a little bit of whites. That's reading weird. It reads gray, but it's a navy stripe. So it's light blues, dark blues, and whites. And then, well, I don't need these. These were some stash I grabbed, but I don't need those anymore. And then I ordered this Liberty print and I think it was called Prison Square, and it's just like an urban scene, a navy and white urban scene of basketball players, and I'm not exactly sure why it was called Prison Square. I don't think there's a prison courtyard or anything like that, because people are obviously in the streets, and there's cars and trucks and radios and bicycles. Anywho, so this piece is going to go with this, probably get worked into the back in the label somehow. Anyway, long story short, it's going to be a quilt instead for my son. And I'm going to use a mock, did I talk about this last time? A mock pineapple that I saw on that quilting video I told you about, the little foot quilt. She did one where you take, like, I'm gonna make up numbers, so I'm not sure. Like, let's say I take two charm squares, two 5-inch squares, I sew them together all the way around, right sides together, and then you cut an X in the back of one, not all the way through to the other side, just through the one fabric, and then you fold it out. And so now it's whatever size, I don't know. Let's say it's 6 inches now, 7 inches, 8 inches, I don't know what it is. Then you take another piece of fabric, do it again, cut it again, open it, and so it looks like you have like all these squares in a square, and it's called like a mock pineapple. Anyway, it looks super cool. It looks like it's not hard, but it looks like it's going to take a long time. And it's going to be a long time until I see my son. So anyway, so you can connect the dots there if you want. This fabric's called Prison Square. And it's going to be a long time until I see my son. So his favorite colors are in the blue family, just like his mother. Also, it's the color of our Blessed Mother Mary. And every day at 4:05, we both say a Hail Mary together. So I have an alarm set on my phone. And every day at 4:05, wherever I'm at, 9 times out of 10, I'm still at home, still wrapping up my work day. But even Saturday and Sunday, stop what I'm doing, say a Hail Mary. Sometimes Steve joins me if he's around. So I will have that quilt to show you guys. I really want to start on it because I want to try that Prison Square, the mock pineapple. It just looks so cool and so easy but time consuming. So I'm picturing like one night, like just sewing a bunch of them together once I do a test one, and then like one night sit in front of the TV and cut them all open and then iron them or whatever. But anyway, so I bought a ton of fabric because my guy is like 6'5". He's super tall. And so he's going to need a big quilt for his future home to keep him warm and snuggly. And he knows I'm making it. And so I wanted to also make it big, so it takes me a long time so I can think of him as I'm working on it. And his sister's already got a quilt for me, so I don't feel bad about spending a lot of time on making him one. Sometimes the kids have that competition, I think. Well, he doesn't, but she does, I think. Abby has that thing in her head. But anywho, so then let's see what we have here from the Fat Quarter Shop. In my last little box, and then I will have Save the Stitches, and we will call it a night. I have to go make supper yet. Oh, last night I got out of making supper. We ordered pizza because I was like, it's so hot. But I made spaghetti sauce. Like, I'd already browned the meat and made the spaghetti sauce a couple nights ago in anticipation of the hot weather. So I have to cook that. So I do have to turn the stove on tonight to make the noodles. So I gotta cook. Oh my goodness. So I must have needed floss for something. So here's the floss. But that's not why this order was placed. This order was placed for this. This was on flash sale. This was half off. And it's adorable. And I'm so excited because I wanted it when I first saw it, like when it was full price. So this is Heart to Heart. It's a table runner, 18 by 55. The kit includes the pattern, the fabric, the top, and the binding. So I will just need the backing. But if you look, if it triggers anything for you, this is that fabric that I've been just buying up a lot of. This is that Sandy Gervais. Oh shoot, what's the fabric line called? But it was the fabric, the red fabric I used, and the strawberry quilt I just cut out. And I have a jelly roll up there, and so then I still have, and I have a layer cake, and I have some offcuts left over from the strawberry quilt I cut out. Why can't I think of what this fabric line's called? But we have, I think this is going to look so cute. Sorry for all the noise. We have this cedar chest bench in our living room to create extra seating. And I thought this pattern would look so cute. Oh yeah, you've seen this fabric before. I'm in love with this fabric line. It would look so cute on that bench in the living room, you know, for Valentine's. And then I also thought, gosh, you could even reinterpret this with different color fabrics for different times of year with the birds, or I was thinking those birds with those hearts could be used on a pillow or anything. I just like everything. To me, this just was a huge value. Yeah, my kit came with the fabric for the pattern, the fabric for the runner, top, and binding. And then you get a nice little box. And it has the Riley Blake logo kind of embossed in it, which you can't see. So this was like half price. So this was like $30, which I thought was a fabulous price. I was so excited to get it. It's kind of like a little treat. I mean, sometimes like when you really want something, you want it and you buy it and you pay a full price. But it's also awesome just to sit and wait. Wait for it to go on sale and be ready for it. So that was that. And then this, I'm not so sure about. I might gift this to Abby. So I saw this online. It's new. And it's called, I think it's called Salvages. Here is the SKU number. And I believe it's a ruby star. And so I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it might not be my liking, but I love the idea of it so very much. So I wanted to get it. So I got a little half a yard to check it out. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. But that might be a gift for her. It's called Salvage Magic, and I love this idea so much because people are actually saving their salvages and using them in real projects, which I have saved but have not used in a real project. So maybe that'll go to her because that looks like her color palette more than mine, because it has some oranges and yellowies in there that I don't really use a lot. And then that's it, except for Save the Stitches. So Save the Stitches, I'm going to insert a picture here of one of the cross stitch pictures I saw at the thrift store that just was stunning. Stunning. If I would have had anywhere to put it, I would have snagged it in a second. It is Columbus coming to the New World. Off the top of my head here speaking, I don't remember which one, but one of the ships. And the stitching, the hours, the coverage. I mean, it was, but I don't have anywhere. It needed like a nice formal room, like a nice library. Oops, sorry, I moved the camera. A man's room. It just looked very masculine, very heavy, formal, not our style. But what was our style and what came home with me is not one, but two cross stitches. So we've got a covered bridge and we've got a barn. I'm guessing, and these were nicely framed. No information about them, no date on them. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, These were stamped on linen. But I love the color palette. I love that red and pink so much. The person who stitched them did an excellent job. He or she, probably a she, spent hours upon hours. Beautiful. May not be stamped, maybe from a pattern. But these are going to go in either our bedroom, which I keep talking about I need to redo. It's like right up there with making project bags. Or I'm thinking my office. I'm thinking probably my office. Love them. So, you guys, you made it this far. Thank you so very, very much for joining me. You guys are the best. If you haven't already, if you don't mind, if you give my video a like, if you would subscribe, and please always leave me a comment if you have something you'd like to share with me, something you want to talk about. I love it so very much. And then I will see you guys probably in a couple weeks, and we will be full blown into 4th of July cross stitch and quilting. And I just can't wait to see you guys again. So until next time, bye.